Yo, it's your girl Lex, of course, Winning Women Wednesdays, and I'm checking in with the hottest lash tech instructor, CEO of the city, and it's the Lash Vault in the building. That's right, Miara is in the building, guys. Check her out. I want you guys to know Miara. I'm gonna let her introduce herself, let you guys know who she is, where her business is from, and what they specialize in, and everything she has to offer. And we're going to get tuned into her story and her journey in Boss Talk with Lex, of course. Let's get it.
Thank you so much for having me. So my name is Miara. I'm the owner of the Lash Vault, which, as she said, is a lash and brow bar located in Buckhead, Atlanta. We specialize in lash extensions, but we do also offer brow services on top of those. My personal favorite, training. I love teaching people how to do lashes. That's my ultimate goal, is to be an instructor. So we offer in-person courses, online courses, group courses. I've been in business now for 4 years. I got my lash certification 5 years ago, and I just really love what I do. Like, I love the transformation that I feel or that people give me. I love their response when they open their eyes and like, oh my God, I look so good. So that's what I do. We're based here in Atlanta. We've been in Atlanta the whole time. I've been in Buckhead, Atlanta for 4 years since we have been in business, and I just love what I do, and I'm super excited to be here with you. Like, just as to me, I look at you as like an icon in this beauty industry. So to be able to sit down with you and to be able to sit down with somebody who really showed me what was available to me in this industry, and the fact that me doing lashes, it could be a side hustle, but it could also be a very lucrative career. So I can definitely thank you for introducing that lifestyle to me back when I took your brow course 3 years ago.
You're welcome. I'm glad you did train with me. You're amazing with the lash industry and the brow industry. Your work is amazing. I love everything about it. I mean, when I seen you pop up on the Explore page, I didn't even recognize it because, you know, me, myself, I trained over 10,000 students. I didn't realize you was a student that I trained. And it's like, wow, like, I got to get her story on my platform. So that's why I slid through the DM. I didn't actually know. But, hey, your story is one of the stories that I got to get out there to the world. So, guys, you know, I'm going to let you know everything. You know, on Boss Talk with Lex, we keep it real, raw, and uncut, of course. And I just got a few questions to interview you on and ask you about. And, you know, just to know your side of being an entrepreneur, your obstacles, your trials and tribulations you went through, the things that make you stronger and grew you as a individual and as a brand, as an entrepreneur. What pushed you to that next level? Because I get these questions all the time. But my goal now is to pick the minds of like other CEOs, because I'm not the only CEO, and I tell people that all the time. It's other CEOs that, you know, of other companies, but, you know, I got to pick their minds as well to see what their thoughts or their dreams or the things that they've been through, because everybody has a story, but it's a test without a testimony. So with that being said, how long have you been into the lash industry, like doing lashing itself?
So I got my lash certification, which was my first experience of doing lashes, back in October of 2018. And of course, I didn't really start lashing up until 2019. And that's when I started picking up. I started learning things. That's when I got my second certification in 2019. But that was also when I was in college, so I wasn't able to work full time. I was also in school full time. So that was where I got my lash industry knowledge from.
Right.
Prior to that, I had already been super interested in the beauty industry, just kind of growing up in middle school and high school. I wasn't always like super confident in myself. I was very self-conscious. And so when I got to college, that's when I started to experiment with doing my hair, you know, wearing strip lashes, doing my makeup. And that's where my love for the beauty industry started. And then I started with hair, I started with makeup. But when I decided to take that lash class, that's where I really fell in love. And I felt like, okay, this is like an art to me. I'm expressing myself as an artist.
Right.
And so I've been doing lashes for 4 or 5 years now, and I've loved it. And I know that there's still like a lot for me to learn, and I'm super excited to continue to grow into this industry too, though.
That's dope. I really love it. I love everything that you have going on with your brand. Even you got lash techs that, you know, all over come by your lash brand from your store. That's very creative, because in Atlanta we don't have a lot of, you know, vendors for like lashes, for brow products and things like that. So I found that really dope. one of the things of seeing like your story, I seen you did go to college. What was your major in college? Like, does it have anything to do with the beauty industry, or was it?
We can make it work for owning a business. So my major when I graduated was marketing, but when I went to college, I was undecided. Then I was a finance major. Then I was a psychology major. Then I was like, well, maybe I want to go to cosmetology school. And I feel like that's something that's important to let people know, because as an entrepreneur today, I feel like entrepreneurs want to sell this dream that they kind of just had everything always figured out.
Overnight
success.
Yeah,
I decided
that's not really real.
It's so unrealistic. And that's what made me even make that post that you saw, because I want people to know, like, this is not easy, and it's not cookie cutter. This is step by step that you take. But I ended up graduating with my marketing degree, which I still use obviously today in order to market my business. And that's kind of where I found my love for being a business owner, but also being a lash artist too.
Right. Dope. I love that, you guys. So you hear that. So some people go to trade schools. Some people go to colleges. I mean, everybody has their own preferences. We're all different. You know, no one is the same. No one is, exactly alike. That's what God made each and every one of us unique for our own fit, our own kind. So with that being said, Miara has just dropped some gems on how she started and, how she got into the lash industry and beauty industry, because don't think lashes is not included with beauty, because some people always mention like beauty, brows, and makeup. No, lashes included also, because if you're doing... Sometimes you're doing your permanent brows and you go get your lashes done. That's all you need. You don't really need a full face of makeup. That can actually save you money. You know what I'm saying?
The end.
Yeah, exactly.
That's it. Lashes and brows.
Lashes and brows. So that's one of your winning, and I speak of winning Wednesdays. That's one of your winning key techniques to learn is lashes and brows, because those can take you to levels that other things never took you before. I mean, I've been learning how to do facials, I've been learning how to do skincare, but brows and lashes can take you to that next level, and I've seen it. I'm a witness. She's a witness, and with that being said, hey, you can't do nothing but trust the process. I have another question for you. What has been your hardest obstacle in the lash and beauty industry that you face, that you feel like that's your hardest?
My hardest obstacle in the lash and beauty industry, just as an entrepreneur in general too, is kind of finding the strength to like keep reaching to the next level. I feel like that especially applies to the beauty industry, because a lot of people don't look at any occupation within the beauty industry as an actual job or as an actual career.
It's always a side hustle.
It's always a side hustle. So getting over that barrier that people have already placed on us as, beauty service providers, and saying this is just a side hustle. You still need to go find a job and work in tech or do this or go, even though I did go to school, I don't work a 9 to 5 or work a 9 to 5. So getting over that stigma that people have that what I do is not a real job has been something that is very difficult for me, especially as I'm getting older. I'm still obviously young. I'm 27. But when you start to get closer to 30, although I'm super excited for my 30s, I can't wait. But as you get closer to your 30s, people want to make it seem like you need to have your life figured out. You need to start having kids and you need to have all this stuff. And granted, of course, I do want that to come one day. But what I do now, I make 6 figures on a slow year. So that is... how is that not a job? How is that not a career?
Exactly.
And so not allowing other people to place that stigma that they have for this industry on me has been the hardest thing for me to overcome, especially with me deciding I want to continue to promote my work, but are people going to think that I don't really work a job or anything like that? That has been one of the hardest things for me to overcome, specifically in the beauty industry. Now, granted, there have been harder things in my personal life that I've had to overcome, but in the beauty industry, I think that stigma is the hardest thing that I have personally had to face.
Right. I always say, what's a job when you're an entrepreneur?
What's a job? Yeah, what's a job?
Entrepreneur,
I make money, you make money.
Exactly. Like, what's a job? And everybody not, I don't knock job, 9 to
Yeah.
5. I don't knock any of that.
For sure.
But everybody's not meant to be an entrepreneur because everybody's not willing to get it out the mud. You know, everybody's not willing to put in. Entrepreneurship requires 12 to 16 hours some days. Some days it requires 8 to 6 hours or 6 to 8 hours or 10 to 12 hours. Entrepreneurship requires a lot of dedication and hard work and sacrifice. So with that being said, if you're not ready for that, if you're not ready to dedicate that, then you can't go to that next level. You know what I'm saying? So when you dedicate something to your brand, you're ready to go and grow to that next level. I tell people all the time, my favorite sport is watching women make money. Like, I sit back and cross my legs. I'll be like, hey, like, she getting to that bag. Let me interview her. Let me get her on here.
Yeah.
Because she's getting to that bag. And I want the next people to know, next women. I mean, I don't only have women on my podcast. I have women. I have men. I have everybody on here to let them know, like, entrepreneurship is a real hustle. You got to work hard. You got to get it out the mud. You got to, even those days where it feels like I want to give up, you can't give up. You can't give up on what you dreamed of or what you believe in, you know, owning or having, or what you believe in your company. And manifestation is real.
Very.
I always tell my girls when I mentor, when I teach, hey, speak it in existence. Stop saying I can't do it like this. No, God, I want to do it like this. Speak it in existence, because the tongue is powerful. Whatever you speak, you shall receive, you know. So if you speak negative, that's what the universe give out, is negativity. So I try to speak nothing but positivity into, you know, anyone that's around me to help them go and grow to that next level.
But I also like how you keep it real too. Like, yeah, entrepreneurship, we get it out the mud and whatever, but like we were talking about before, so many people want to sell you this dream that this is an overnight success story. Like, where I'm at, I've been building this for years, and you've been building this for years. And so a lot of people want to sell you this dream that, yeah, you know, you're going to take this lash class and you're going to be making 6 figures this year. Overnight. And granted, you put in the work and you do what you need to do and you market and promote yourself. That's where you will be. But it's not an easy journey at all. And it doesn't matter if I do lashes or if I do hair, if we do brows. Like, we still are getting it out the mud every single day like any other entrepreneur would. So I don't want to be that one that's selling a dream. Like, you know what? You can do this overnight. You can do it for sure. Like we said, manifestation and telling God exactly what it is that you want. But I really like that you just keep it real with everybody. Like, you're going to have to grind for this, and you're going to have to go through some stuff to get here.
Exactly. And I love you said that, because I always tell my girls, I learned the permanent makeup industry in 2015. I didn't blow up with it until 2017, where I first made my first 124 grand in one day of training a brow class. But it took 2 years before I got to that level. A lot of girls come train, they can take lash classes, they come take lip classes, they come take brow classes, but they still don't understand. And that's my purpose of having a podcast, having a show, to let the world know, like, hey, every day ain't good and every day ain't bad either. But I had to get it out the mud. Like, it's not gonna just fall in your hand. Anything that comes fast, I always speak, it does not last. So fast money does not last, ladies. Like, it does not, you know. So you want to put your hard work, and anything you put your hard work and your passion into it, it can't do nothing but beat, which is keep beating and go to the next level. So you got to keep pushing, you got to keep striving, even when the doors sometimes. I've been watching so many ladies, and we're in an era right now, we're in a 2023, this year we're in an era where a lot of girls are giving up on their businesses because you're not making the same money as you did years ago. And it's okay you're not making the same money, but don't give up on that brand. Don't give up on that career. Don't give up on that entrepreneurship, because you still can be that. If it takes for you to go to find a part-time job to be able to supply your bills or supply your every needs, go do that. It's okay. But we're in an era now where we want everybody to think everything is perfect. No, I ain't with telling you everything's perfect no more. Now, when I was first building my brand, everything, I'm showing nothing but lavish life. Now I'm showing you the real, because the older you get, the wiser you get. Wisdom come with knowledge, and knowledge come with understanding. And that's what I've been able to learn over the years. Like, God, like, you've been giving me nothing but wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. One thing I learned, Solomon is the most wisest people in the Bible. And he asked God for nothing but wisdom. And when he got that wisdom, it took him to that next level. So that's why I asked God, give me the wisdom, because I can show people how to make money, but Is it going to be consistent? Are they going to believe? Are they going to trust? Because everybody does not trust. Don't trust the process, you know. And that's been my key point, my keynote, like my hashtags. Trust the process. You really got to trust it even when it doesn't seem like it's going good. Like, God, I still trust you. I know I only got one client for the week, but I still trust you.
Yeah.
At the end of the week, I might have 10, 15 clients. Now, I might not have 10 a day like I used to, but God, I still trust you because I haven't lost nothing. You haven't taken anything from me. So with that being said, I know there's a God. I know there's somebody greater, someone's higher, and he's watching and looking after me. And what you're a product of what you do. When you do good to people, you get back. So I've trained over to 10,000 students, as I say, and they've been doing nothing but amazing work, you know. And the ones that's not doing amazing work, I would tell them, you have to practice what you do, you know. And the ones that's not in the beauty industry, sometimes it's harder for you to get into the beauty industry if you're a bank teller, or if you're a sales rep, or if it's harder for you to get into it because you have to really study that.
Yeah.
You have to really put your mind into it. You have to really put your focus into it. You have to really lock in and say, hey, this is what I'm focusing on. Ain't no TikTok, ain't no YouTube, ain't no Instagram, ain't no Facebook. You have to really say, I'm not doing this today. I'm focusing on nothing but lashes. Or I'm focused on nothing but brows. But now we're in a generation to where, oh, let me look at her page or her company, and if she doing it, I can do it. You don't know what she went through, and you don't know what I went through to get to this level. Yeah. So with that being said, Miara, I want you to tell the guys and girls, of course, your story, because your journey, as I found you on the Explore page, like, tell them your journey, because that's how I found you. Because I felt that you was a strong woman, an individual that has went through entrepreneurship and really realize, like, God, if you got me through this situation, you get me through the next. So you was inspired. Like, you was a story that I said, God, I gotta get her on my show. Like, I gotta get her on here to tell the next people or the next women, you know, like you have, because I've met so many women, and just this month alone, I've met 4 women that has experienced that they're going through breast cancer. And I said, don't give up on life. I said, that's what the devil and the doctor tell you have. God has another say so. Yeah. But when you start stressing yourself out and giving up on your brand and giving up on yourself, stress is the fastest thing to kill you.
Yeah, seriously.
Because everybody rushing to get to success and don't realize stress is the number one killer. It doesn't be a disease. It doesn't be cancer. It doesn't be sickness. It be stress that kills you and take you out. But if you have that faith that's bigger than a mustard seed, God will take you to that next level and let you know that, hey, I can get through this. I can push through this. So looking at your story, I mean, to see where you are now and what era also in your lash career, your beauty career, did you actually go through? Was it the beginning? Was it the end? Yeah. I let our ladies know, like.
So this was a moment in, you know, we are talking about lashes and business, but this was a moment that changed my entire life, just to have to experience something like that. So this happened in my final year of college. I was in my final year at Georgia State.
Georgia State.
Yeah,
Georgia State.
I did. I enjoyed my time at Georgia State, but this was in my final year of Georgia State. College was already kind of like a weird, rocky road for me. I had at one point actually dropped out of college because I thought I wanted to go to cosmetology school. I went back to school. I lost my scholarship at one point when I was there. I was trying to figure out, like, how am I going to pay for school? I ended up doing bottle service for a couple of years here in Atlanta to be able to pay my way through school. And I was finally feeling like I was figuring everything out. I enrolled back in school. I started to pursue a degree in marketing, which I really, really, really liked. I'm like, man, I finally found a degree that I liked. I had finally started the Lash Vault. The Lash Vault became, you know, my business and my brand. And I'm getting ready to graduate, and I'm going to the hospital all of a sudden every other week or so because I'm having these stomach pains, and I'm like, I don't know what's going on. And so they end up doing an MRI on my stomach, and they see a tumor that is the size of a grapefruit. So you can imagine this is a grapefruit here. So the size of a grapefruit. Let me ask you a question. What type of pains was you experiencing? Because I like to educate also my viewers, my girls, my ladies, my men, whoever it is watching, like, because sometimes you might have these things going on in life and you don't understand, like, why am I going through these things? And
the reason of the podcast, the reason of the show is to give you that help that you need.
Yes.
You know, so what type of pains would you experience that makes you want to go to the actual hospital?
I was experiencing extremely sharp stomach cramps to the point where I couldn't walk. And I was just having to crawl throughout the day, or I couldn't move, or I couldn't get out the bed. And I'm like, man, I don't know what is going on. But in a bigger sense of things, I had started losing a lot of weight in that last year. So I was a lot, not bigger, but I was a little thicker. But I was
you look good now, baby.
Thank you. But I was losing weight. But I was like, you know what? I'm getting older. Like, maybe my body is changing. So I was losing a lot of weight. I was having really uncomfortable stomach pains to where I was feeling sick, like maybe I was gonna, vomit after eating food. And then I was just overall experiencing a lot of cramping very often. So I went to the doctor because one day it was so bad and it was causing me to miss class. I'm like, I'm in my final year of school. Like, I can't keep missing class like this. And that's when I actually insisted, because they tried to tell me it was something completely different that I was not going for. But I insisted that they do an MRI on my stomach, and they saw that tumor that was the size of a grapefruit. They said it had probably been growing inside of me for the last 6 or 7 years.
Wow.
Yes. And it had just in the last year just really taken off. And since it had taken off, I needed an emergency surgery to get that tumor removed. On top of getting the tumor removed, I was going to need to get my spleen removed and the tail of my pancreas, possibly parts of my stomach. Like, going into the surgery, I didn't even know what they were going to have to do. They were like, we're going to open you up and see what happens. And again, I'm 22 at the time, just starting my business, just starting to finally get some clients, finally about to graduate college. It took me 5 years to graduate. And so I'm like, man, why would this happen to me?
Right.
Like, me of all people, I work hard. I don't do wrong by nobody. Like, why would this happen to me? And on top of everything, my teachers at Georgia State were not understanding of the situation at all. So I had to drop all my classes. So At that point, now I can't graduate on time. Now I've wasted money on this semester. I have to go back to school. And so I kind of forgot about everything. I put aside the business, I put aside school, and I really just wanted to focus on my health. And I really wanted to focus on making sure I stay really close to God and telling him, like, I hear what these doctors are saying. They're throwing around words, tumor, pancreatic cancer, those are things that at a 22-year-old, it's hard to process stuff like that. Like, what do you mean? And so I just really focused, and I said, God, like, I don't know why you doing this, but get me through this. Get me through this. And don't just get me through it, like, make me a better person after I go through what I go through. And so my doctor said it after I had my surgery. They were like, you recovered insanely fast. And I'm like, I just trusted God throughout this process. Like, I don't know why it is that you are putting me through what I'm going through, but I felt like I was going through what I was going through for a testimony to serve me better.
Right.
And so I got through that surgery. I recovered. It took me about a month to fully get through recovery. Later that year, I restarted my business again. I moved into my first salon suite. And the next year in 2020, in the middle of a pandemic, I had my first 6-figure year. After going through something like this, we're feeling like I didn't even know if I was going to make it through the year.
Right.
But I can only attribute any of that to God. Like, it's not by my strength that I got through the things that I got through. God was the only one that could have got me through the things that I got through. And so even sharing the story with you guys was different for me. I'm very, very private about everything I go through in my personal life. And I felt like God was calling on me at that time to share it. Like, this is stuff that people need to know. I don't want to give this pristine image that, oh my goodness, this has just been such an easy journey and I've had such an easy life. Like, I want people to know what truly I have been through. And that's what made me make this post.
Right. I love it. I mean, your story, it inspired me, and it made me want to reach out to you to tell your story to my viewers, my followers, everybody that's listening. Like, hey, if she can go through this and build a multi-million-dollar 6-figure business, like, why you can't do it, And sometimes everybody's journeys is not the same as others. And I find myself so often asking God himself why I got to go through it. And he says, why not?
Why not?
Because you're my chosen one.
Yeah.
And when you're his chosen one, you have to go through those things in order to go to those next levels. Because everybody's not chosen out. You got to remember that. Everybody's not chosen out. So I started to understand, God, you know, you chose me out to do this. You chose me out. Like, I didn't understand why I started this podcast. I didn't understand why I started Boss Talk with Lex. Like, what am I doing? Like, you know, but God wanted me to speak and tell my story and get other females and, you know, males and entrepreneurs on this podcast to tell their stories, because everybody thinks that entrepreneurship is actually easy, and it's not, you know. And the process of us going through what we go through to get to this level, even losing my little sister at, you know, the age she was, for my mama to transition to take her son in, and she has to be a full-time mother to him. Like, it made me step up to the plate. Like, hey, you know, I'm a pitcher at the field. Like, hey, I'm ready for the next test, God.
Yeah.
You know, you have to step out on faith and know that, hey, I'm at this test, God, where you take me to whatever next level you. Even though every level I went to was harder and harder, but I did not give up. One thing about that faith, when you do not give up and you trust him, you can't do nothing but go to that next level.
Yeah.
And I see, after you went through your surgeries, after you went through whatever the doctors told you negative, you didn't give up, because the average person would have gave up, would have laid their whole business on the line. But because you didn't give up, I want to show your journey afterwards, because this is what she's experienced afterwards, that she can tell her testimony. She can show the world, like, hey, if I went through that to get to this, what? Because half the time, people don't even go through sickness or surgeries or things like that. They're going through financial situations, you know. And I said, money is the root of all evil.
Yeah.
So when money is the root of all evil, why do you cherish money? Why not trust God? People cherishing the wrong things in this economy, this society. Well, if you trust God with all of your life, everything, God, no matter what I have today going on, I trust you. No matter what debts come over my head, I don't care what it is. It may be a $10,000 debt, and I only got $10 to my name. God, I trust you.
And for real,
and when you trust him and believe,
that's all he needs.
That's all he needs.
Like,
I love that.
I told my clients, like, when I found out that I was gonna have to have this surgery and I was gonna be out of work and out of school, I just told my clients, I said, I'll be back.
I'll be back.
I said, I'll be back. I said, I'll be back. Just
because most people say, I don't know what I'm gonna do.
I said, I'll be back. And I came back better than I was before. I got out of my house. I said, I'm taking this serious.
Everything about this, it gives me that you gave life. And you spoke life into your business, into yourself. And you said, if I came out of this, God, I know you still got me here for a reason. And anytime God keeps you here, he got you here for a reason. You're in survivor mode. And when you're in survivor mode, God got you here for a specific reason. And you have to fulfill that reason. That's why I feel like you're in this seat today. Because you have reason to give the audience, you know, something to go by, to live by. And to know that, hey, I go through it. What is it for you to go through it?
Yeah.
Because God don't just pick and choose. He chooses the ones that he wants to go through those hardships, those trials, those tribulations. It's not easy, but he's picking strongest soldiers for his hardest battles, you know?
And then when you are chosen too, naturally, the devil sees you as a threat. The devil doesn't attack anybody that he doesn't see as a threat. You know, if you're not chosen for a bigger purpose, the devil is going to walk right past you. But when the devil sees the light that you have and the way that you can speak life and show others to God, naturally what he's going to do, he's going to attack you. He wants to tear you down. So when you are trying to reach that next level, as I have learned, they say new levels, new devils. And as you said, it's going to get harder with every single level. But I feel like when you can come to the point where you just accept, like, this is what I'm going through. Nipsey Hussle has this video. It's called Millionaire Mindset. And he's like,
Millionaire Mindset is saved in my notes. I can tell you guys
I have to listen to it.
Millionaire Mindsets is saved. Like, you have to listen to it sometimes.
Yes.
Even when you listen to Millionaire Mindset, have Steve Harvey ever came up? Everybody knows Steve Harvey is my favorite. But he clearly says, God, when you ask God for a blessing sometimes, a lot of us don't believe. And when we don't believe, it leaves. Yeah. That is really real. Like, you can ask God for a hot car, a house, a business plan. I mean, it's nothing that our Father can't provide for us. But a lot of people as Steve Harvey in his words said, a lot of people leave Faith Street before the blessing actually comes. So when you leave Faith Street, you can't go to that next level because you've already realized, oh, this blessing ain't coming, so I don't trust it no more. So when you don't trust that blessing anymore, God sends that. It's just like a package. He sends that package to the next sender. So whoever it was that prayed for that blessing before you or after you, it goes to the next sender.
Yeah, because you didn't believe
because you didn't stay on Faith Street believing and knowing that I can, I will, and it will happen. It will come to pass. So everything about what you're telling me, like, I mean, you're one of a kind. Your journey alone, like, you yourself have life in you.
Thank you.
And like I said, I never knew you was even a student of mine before until now, but I keep it real and raw. Like, hey, this girl inspired me. Like, she woke me up, because some people don't understand. Some days I got dark days where I be like,
yeah,
hey, I ain't getting it how I used to. I'm finna figure out something else. But God said, I didn't put you in this industry to figure out something else. I told you to go through it in order to tell the person that's next to you how to get through it. Yeah, because everybody's not as strong as you, but you got a gift. You got a tongue. You got a mouth that's very powerful. Yeah. So when you have a calling on your life, you got to use it. And for so long, I wanted to stay quiet. I wanted to, and God kept saying, no, this podcast room been set up. But I just said, it was just empty. He's like, you gonna keep hiding from me? I start taking away. He started taking away from one company to show me, hey, you gonna go do this?
This is where I need you.
This is where I need you. I'm using you. And then, I get DMs daily. I don't give. I done met with producers that, I'm talking about top producers. You don't belong sitting in these seats. You belong on a stage. You're going to have a show. And I was like, I know it's been spoken of in my life, but I'm declining. I'm running from it right now. But God, I still trust you. You know what I'm saying?
Run.
Because I don't understand why you put me in these seats, But I do know you have a calling on my life, and, it's to tell the next person, because a lot of people are not talking about spiritual things right now. We're in a season where people are losing their mind. Yeah. Your mindset is your next opportunity, your next growth. So if you lose your mind, the devil has control of everything. Yeah. Everything around you. Yeah. So the goal is to not lose your mind. So that's the purpose of Boss Talk with Lex. Let's talk these things out. Let's inspire the next entrepreneur. Let's inspire the next Winning Women Wednesday. Let's inspire the next Motivational Mondays, because it's someone out here that's listening to our story that don't believe. But if I can show them and let them know, hey, her story is real. Yeah. My story is real.
This is not a game.
And I keep producing. You can't help but believe. Yeah. And faith without work is what? Dead. So I got to keep producing to show them that faith is what I have, to show them that the work I'm putting in, it's not dead. I trust God. It's not dead,
Yeah. We're definitely in a spiritual warfare right now with so much going on in the world and everything that is broadcasted on social media. Even if you are, extremely successful, like the money is still like not, I mean, obviously we all need money to live. Right. But that's not, that's not why we do the things. He'll take all of it away from you.
Will you trust me then?
Yeah. And sometimes I feel like God does take it away. Like you said, just even being slower, like this is a slower season for, I feel like, a lot of entrepreneurs. And so I feel like I took the slow season as a test. I took it as God wanting to see how I was going to react when things were getting a little bit slower, and when we did have to clean house and we don't have as many employees as we did before. Like I took it as God wanted to see, was I going to panic or was I going to trust him? And I had to make that decision to say, I'm going to trust God and the plan that he has for whatever it is right now. But we're definitely under attack right now, and only the strongest are surviving.
Only the strongest.
But as you said, the mentally.
I always say that in my head, like, God, I just feel like I'm attacked over here. I'm pulled over here. Like, it could start to control your mind. Anytime it controls your mind, it controls your life. And I'm not letting anything get into my life that's going to control me unless it's the will of God. So with that being said, like, this podcast is meant to inspire you guys. It's meant to motivate you guys. It's meant to let you guys know, if she can, if I can, if anyone out there can, and keep pushing, keep striving, and going to success, you can keep going. But you got to trust the process, and you got to have faith and know. And one motivational message that I want to leave you guys with today, which is a very motivational message. I listen to this, and when I'm listening to the word, or I'm listening to a pastor, when I'm listening, I say, God, give me the best concepts out of this message to give to the audience, because you got to realize people attention spans is not, you can't go through an hour show and they gonna all be focused. No, they gonna, the good talk, the bad talk, that's what they're gonna listen to.
Yeah.
So my motivational messages, my testimonial messages is what they listen to. So one thing in life I want to let you know, anything God puts you through, whether it's good or bad, always turn your mess into a masterpiece. Because God can transition you from here to there, but you got to trust him to know that he can and he will. So don't think any situation, whether it's good or bad, God can't change it overnight. He will turn your mess into a masterpiece. You just have to trust the process and believe and know that God can and he will. So that's the words from, of course, Boss Talk with Lex on Motivational Wednesdays and Winning Wednesdays with Miara, the Lash Vault CEO, Master Lash Tech, and Instructor. And she gave her story to let you guys know, hey, if I can go through this surgery, if I can go through trying to figure out who I am, the ins and out of this beauty industry, who is you for these financial barriers that you're going through? Or who are you for going through these financial errors to where, I don't only have 1 or 2 clients. No, you can still trust and believe in your process. And I love everything about this episode. I mean, my era story is amazing. And you'll get the full episode. I know you might get the edited version, the cut out version. But hey, if you go to YouTube and follow Boss Talk with Lex, you're going to get the full edited version of Real Raw and Uncut with me and my era talking today on Boss Talk with Lex, which is Winning Wednesdays. And that's Word from the Wise.